Compassion is the key to success. Compassionate, compassion, compassionate. Compassion people are the key to success. Compassion people are the key to life. Compassion people are the key to success. Repeat, repeat. So I guess you probably already read the title by now. Am I a bad person? Done some bad things before. I guess it's just now this is a confession video, but unlike a lot of YouTuber fake confessions, this one is real. I promise you that. First of all, I want to get a special apology to I don't want to use his real name, but let's call him Curtis. My friend Curtis, back from 2 years ago. So the backstory is I met Curtis when I was in grade 5. He was a new student to the elementary school I was going to. We were both new students there, and we met each other through math class. We had a pretty good friendship overall. Yeah. Towards the end of 7th grade, I had to transfer somewhere else, and then he stayed back. But I left him my phone number, so he could always just, get in touch with me. So he found my number and he called me every now and then, once in a while. And at first I didn't really mind it, but then what happened was, he would always talk about things that were not really my interest. Like, he would talk always about Bobby Flay, or Zachary Gordon, or like new country music that I just paid no interest to whatsoever. And one day, I finally snapped, and I told him that, I said the words, "You call this number again, you're dead. My dad is works for the cops, and then I could sue you for harassment and such." And then that was the last I heard of him. He never replied back, and he never called back since. And that was in the heat of the moment type of thing. And not a day goes by when I'm not filled with regret for what I did. I talked about it with a few other people, and I've been contemplating that maybe I should go apologize to him, because if someone said to me, you're dead to me, that hurts inside. And coming from someone with PTSD, I can definitely relate to that when that's directed at me. Right now, you could say of just about anything to me and I won't get hurt by it, because I've been hurt so much before that it has no effect on me, but I know the sting. And even if that happened 12, 13 years ago, if the last words someone said to you were, "I'll kill you if you call me again," they're not going to forget about it. I'm sorry, Curtis. I didn't mean it like that. If you're watching this video, I hope you'll have the heart to forgive me. I promise moving forward, I'll be a lot more patient, and that we can laugh it through these times, For those of you out there with little brothers and sisters that are around my age, do not ever say to your little brother or sister, "I wish you were gone." Because if they were actually gone, you would be devastated. I know that. I remember my friend Nico one time told me about how his mother used to always annoy him. Would always forget to do the dishes, would always leave the toilet seat up, or or always just do things that leave her dirty laundry pile out there. And yeah, he was really, really upset about it. And one day she told him she was leaving for a few days, and he didn't even bat an eye. But eventually someone came, I think it was the cops, who came with devastating news. This sounds like a Darman video, but it's actually not. And then said that his mother died in a car crash. And he was filled with immense grief, Like knowing that like his mother died, knowing that her own son didn't forgive her for some, held a grudge for her, you know? Like, guys, life is way too short to hold grudges, to not forgive each other. Now, I'm not saying that these things aren't annoying, like, but what I'm saying is it really worth losing a relationship over? Or like, saying something that you're gonna regret later? Like, guys, words hurt. So I've been thinking maybe I'll call Curtis pretty soon. Yeah. And I hope he finds it in him to forgive me. And for those of you, forgive your younger siblings. You're the same blood. The other thing I wanted to talk about is something I read on Quora. So someone was debating, like apparently someone was yelling at someone else's baby on the bus to shut up. And like basically a lot of people scolded him for it. And like it made him really think back in pain, like, was it wrong of me to have yelled at someone's baby because they were crying too loudly? And yeah, that, like, I'm going to share a few different viewpoints before I share my viewpoint. Yeah, like, first of all, a lot of people would say that that is really unnecessarily rude. That is really like, someone is heartless to do that. You look like a really unfeeling person by doing that. And it's like, yeah, you scare the poor child. Plus, like babies, they can't understand English. When you say the word baby, I assume that the infant is no more than 2 years old, or is like, a toddler or something like that. But at the same time, from my view, like, while I understand the hatred toward this guy, I feel his pain. In a way, children can be annoying. Actually, most adults are annoying too, but like still with kids, it's not entirely their fault, But I'll tell you this much. As a 22-year-old, I'd say there are times when you can, like, maybe yell at the parents if their child is doing something unacceptable, like running around the bus or something like that. But like at times, I would say that like there's just nothing you could do about it. The parents and the kid don't have a choice. Maybe public transportation is the only way to get to where they need. So sometimes the baby just has to cry and you just have to cope with it. And furthermore, I'd much rather prefer the crying baby to a drunken homeless guy or a group of frat bros bragging about their latest sexual conquests. But yeah, like, is he a bad person? We'll get to that after one more story I tell you guys. So I've been watching a lot of Dhar Mann stories, and like I see this around, like, in my elementary, middles, and high school, like, people making fun of others just because they look different. I've actually almost had that feeling, like wanting to do that. When someone is crippled or has a disability, they kind of walk funny. When someone has Down syndrome, maybe they pronounce words funny and they talk in a slightly slurred speech. I'm not going to mimic them because for those with Down syndrome, like they might get triggered. So I don't want to do it just to be funny, but you know what I'm talking about. And like, they walk funny, or maybe if they have burns, then, they have like, burn survivor, they have burns, scars here, scars on their faces and such, and all that. And like a lot of people, they just laugh at, are they bullies? Are they bad people? They're probably bullies, but are they bad people? I wouldn't necessarily say so. I'd say no, like, I think it's completely normal to laugh at, it's a human tendency for us to laugh at things that are out of the norm and aren't normal. to our what our usual perception of life. Like, you know, we laugh at a green three-eyed monster. We'd laugh at a tower that kind of sloped to the left and such. But what if I were to tell you that those people with disabilities that you laughed at didn't have a choice? Like, what if they didn't choose to look funny and that it was something unfortunate, you know, like the person had a birth defect that caused him to walk funny or have Down syndrome, or like, you know, maybe they like had a, maybe they were escaped from a fire when they were really young by a firefighter, you know? Like all of a sudden it doesn't become so funny anymore, you know? So like it's not okay to laugh, but like, you know, if they laugh, you probably haven't been taught, so I wouldn't blame you. But then parents should tell their kids, you know, whether to that. I've the bottom line is, like, you know, with the crying baby, like I've wanted to yell at a baby before because you think about it, the government isn't funding enough taxes to help those babies in need. So we're paying the price by listening to their whiny screams on the bus. There's a difference between wanting to do something and actually doing it, you know, like it's okay to want to have evil desires, but actually committing it is another act. You know, like I've wanted to, you know, I've wished I guess I do have evil desires too, you know. I really wished I had more views on my channel. I really wished, you know, Ashley was with me. Ashley was the girl I talked about a few videos ago. I wished, you know, I was more recognized. I wished I had a girlfriend, but you know, like to have some of those, I would have to violate others' free will. And I have to keep reminding myself that in order not to act out just to get my own desires. I want to have these things, but I'm not going to actually go out and do it because my ethics speak far higher than that. I think we all I think we all are to some degree bad people where, you know, we always look out for ourselves before we look out for others. That's cool, that's natural. But when you have the chance to reach your own goals without strangling others' goals, um, go do it. It makes you less of a bad person. We're all selfish. We all have bad desires, but a lot more than others. But we're doing the best we can. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I love to stay, but for now, I have to jump. I'll see you guys on the other side of the bridge. Catch you next time.